Thank you for staying with us here on THV 11 Plus for Arkansas News Now. I'm Ashley King with meteorologist Tracy Bean. Just a gorgeous day, giving Tracy all the credit for this sunshine.
Well, as long as I don't get blamed for this morning, that's just fine. Oh, that fog this morning was something. We had zero visibility a couple of different times. So around the metro, that's what we were seeing. But now blue sky, I promise you it was there. We just had to get the fog out of the way. Folks out and about on this Friday afternoon, and nice out there. We are seeing temperatures in the 60s. Very nice out there, almost to the 70s. We're getting there, be there before long as we're heading throughout the afternoon, looking for that high in the low 70s, maybe around 72, 73. And those nights will be a bit clear as we're heading into your Saturday, looking good too. But 80s down south, maybe even a few 78, 79, but things are looking great as we are moving ahead, at least for Saturday. And we are going to start talking about a bit cooler weather, although it is still above our average for this time of year. But a few rain showers and maybe even a few storms later next week. But we'll get into all of that coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Tracy. A pilot from Rogers has died after a single-engine plane crash into Beaver Lake. It happened yesterday afternoon near the spot of the abandoned resort, Mononay. Rescuers found the aircraft nose about 40 feet down in water with a 61-year-old man identified as Kim Sweet stuck inside. The initial details from the NTSB describe the plane as a Jodel D-11. They say the FAA said they are now handling the crash investigation. An overnight fire at the Fairfield Apartments in Little Rock left several units destroyed and families without homes. Early this morning, firefighters responded to a blaze at the Fairfield Apartments on Green Mountain Drive. No word on any injuries from the fire, but the American Red Cross has set up a shelter at Calvary Baptist Church to help those who are displaced. Two giants in the sports betting world are cleared to partner with two of the state's 3 casinos. The Arkansas Racing Commission approved applications from DraftKings and FanDuel today. The plans call for DraftKings to partner with Southland Casino and FanDuel to partner with Oaklawn. The national companies will serve as vendors for new sports betting apps run by Southland and Oaklawn, helping with things like setting odds and spreads and running behind-the-scenes infrastructure. It will mean customers of Oaklawn's app will eventually have to download a new FanDuel version. The companies say the national brands will lead to more wagers and tax revenue, but a Saracen representative spoke against the plan, saying that these bigger corporations will risk going over legal limits Saracen originally lobbied for to protect Arkansas companies.
We have a system that is working for Arkansas. It is one that others want to replicate. If you allow this, you will break that system.
In a matter of days, maybe a couple of weeks, if you are using one of those two apps, then you'll soon see an entirely new framework. I mean, it'll be ultimately, you'll see FanDuel technology or DraftKings technology.
Saracen's app has led the state's 3 mobile sports books in total wagers since launching in May of 2022. New this afternoon, Walmart has agreed to pay $100 million to settle FTC allegations involving driver pay and tips. The agency says Walmart's Spark delivery program showed drivers inflated pay and tip estimates and misled customers about how tips would be paid out. The settlement requires Walmart to create an earnings verification program to help ensure drivers get what they were promised. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth made a stop in East Camden today for L3 Harris operations. The stop is part of his Arsenal of Freedom tour, focused on strengthening the defense industrial base, advancing military technology, speeding production, and reinforcing national security. Hegseth was joined by Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders and Senator Tom Cotton. The visit was rescheduled after winter weather forced him to postpone last month's planned trip. And today marks week 3 of the Department of Homeland Security shutdown and the last scheduled payday for thousands of workers. As the Senate returns with no vote planned, funding remains stalled for FEMA, TSA, and the Coast Guard. FEMA continues essential operations as its staff faces uncertainty regarding their pay, while some programs remain paused. TSA officers are set to miss their first paychecks today, raising concerns about growing strain on the workforce as the shutdown drags on. One TSA representative says she's concerned there's little urgency to reach a deal.
We're going to do our job, Why can't you guys get along and do your job? Talk to each other. At least start the conversation. We don't need a promise of a paycheck. We need a paycheck. We can't go to the bank with a promise.
Experts say the longer the shutdown continues, the greater the strain on both the TSA and FEMA workforces. For the first time, a former president is testifying before Congress under subpoena. Former President Bill Clinton is being deposed today as part of the House Oversight Committee's investigation into convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. It comes a day after his wife Hillary Clinton appeared before the same committee. Bradley Blackburn has the latest from New York.
There is tight security outside the Chappaqua Performing Arts Center Friday, where the House Oversight Committee is questioning former President Bill Clinton under oath about his relationship with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
Jeffrey Epstein was in the White House 17 times while Bill Clinton was president. We know that Bill Clinton flew on Jeffrey Epstein's plane at least 27 times. So those are questions that we're going to ask.
The former president appears in multiple photos in the Epstein files. Both he and Hillary Clinton have denied knowing about Epstein's crimes, and neither has been accused of any wrongdoing.
We're like most people. They did not know what he was doing. And I think that that is exactly what my husband will testify to.
The former Secretary of State testified for more than 6 hours Thursday.
I don't know how many times I had to say I did not know Jeffrey Epstein.
The closed-door depositions come after the Clintons were threatened with being held in contempt of Congress. Democrats on the committee are calling for other high-profile names to testify.
We are now asking and demanding that President Trump officially come in and testify in front of the Oversight Committee.
The committee chair said they may call Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick to testify. A photo of Lutnick in the blue shirt with several others on Epstein's Island was removed from the Justice Department website, but has now been restored. Lutnick has said he barely had anything to do with Epstein and has not been accused of any wrongdoing. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
A new turn in the negotiations to buy Warner Brothers has put Netflix on the back burner. We'll tell you how Paramount turned the tables on the streaming giant coming up.
We're having a great start to this weekend. Friday again, 70s, and we've got some more 70s on Saturday. A cooling trend and maybe some rain on Sunday. We'll talk about it. My forecast coming up.
Welcome back. A high-stakes deadline is looming in a showdown between the Pentagon and a major AI contractor. The Defense Department has given Anthropic until 5 p.m. Eastern to strike a deal on government access to its AI technology or risk losing its contracts and possibly being forced to turn over its tech under the Defense Production Act. The company says it won't comply without safeguards. Jolene Kent has more.
Hours away from the deadline, Anthropic and the Pentagon are locked in a standoff over access to the company's powerful artificial intelligence.
You can't put the rules and the policies of the United States military and the government in the hands of one private company.
On Thursday, Undersecretary of Defense Emil Michael told CBS News the military has now offered Anthropic concessions.
We will put it in writing that we're specifically acknowledging that these laws exist for the privacy of Americans. We're specifically acknowledging these policies that have been in place for years at the Pentagon regarding autonomous weapons.
If Anthropic doesn't comply, the Pentagon says it will revoke the company's government contracts, labeling them a supply chain risk, or seize use of the technology under the Defense Production Act. Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei responded Thursday, denying concessions were offered, saying these threats do not change our position. We cannot in good conscience accede to their request. The conflict stems from the Pentagon wanting unrestricted access to Anthropic's AI. The tipping point came after the capture of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro in January, when the U.S. military ran the operation with the help of Anthropic's Claude. Anthropic wants to maintain restrictions that will not allow the military to enable mass surveillance of Americans or AI-enabled autonomous weapons without human involvement. Amodei has repeatedly warned about the potential dangers that AI poses, especially when abused.
I am concerned that AI may be uniquely well suited to autocracy and to deepening the repression that we see in autocracies.
This is something that's much bigger than the Industrial Revolution. This is bigger than the invention of nuclear weapons.
Jeffrey Laddish used to do work for Anthropic.
I think it's reasonable for the government to be concerned about companies sort of getting to dictate the terms of the most powerful technology that humans have ever invented. At the same time, I think it's very reasonable for companies to be very concerned with what governments might do with this technology.
Jolene Kent, CBS News, San Francisco.
Well, good Friday afternoon. It is beautiful out there. We've got a lot of blue sky out there, and it's a nice temperature. Temperatures are still on the rise today, and the winds are fairly light, so that's going to make it a great time to get out and maybe take a walk and just enjoy. It is 69 in the capital city. We've got 70s all to our south and off to the west, and a few 60s here and there, but we're all going to warm up quite nicely today. Hour by hour, plenty of sunshine throughout. After all that fog this morning, this is a nice relief. Looking for that high in the low to mid 70s. And tonight we'll see mainly clear skies, and that'll allow temperatures maybe to drop off just a little bit tomorrow morning. Sunny skies again throughout the day, and we're already seeing some of those highs as we're heading into the afternoon to reach the mid to upper 70s and maybe even 80s. And I think we'll see a few of those tomorrow as well. 78 is what we are forecasting for Little Rock. Now we are seeing a bit of a dip as we're heading into Sunday, but that's because we've got a frontal boundary pushing in and some cooler weather with some rain that's going to be associated with this. The rain is going to continue on and off throughout the week, unfortunately. Now, good things we're going to talk about is the fact that we need the rain. So although we don't want a rainy week, again, this is something that's going to be certainly beneficial to us. Mainly going to be light to scattered for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, and it's going to get a bit heavier as we're talking about the mid to end of the week into the weekend. So timing things out for you here, we are mainly looking at clear skies today. We'll start to see a few clouds rolling in for your Saturday, but mostly, again, it's going to be absolutely gorgeous with those temperatures really going up close to 80 degrees, and some will hit that. We will start to see a few of those light showers beginning to form, very light. This is around 8:30 tomorrow night, and then as it's pushing south again, that's the overnight hours. Now as we're heading into Monday, again, mainly going to be very light. This is our long range model, so keep in mind we will always see these change and modify just a little bit. But Monday morning, rolling through, not necessarily a lot of activity. Tuesday, very light, probably a bit clouds, and then Wednesday we're going to see some heavier rain rain rolling in. This is around 7 a.m. and as it does roll through, this is going to be 3:30 in the afternoon, and we could see a few storms with a few of these. Again, it's still a bit far out. We still have to get the system to kind of go through its life cycle, and we'll know a little bit more in the coming days. But rainfall totals are looking to be best in northwest Arkansas, but we're all getting a good bit of water, which is certainly needed as we are looking at our 8 to 14 day outlook, which takes us into next weekend. Of course, we are still looking at those above average precipitation amounts for our season. So overall, again, we need the rain. That is going to be the big thing here. So any that we can get will be great. Every day we're adding at least 1 or 2 counties to this. That wildfire danger continues to still be an issue, but those above average temperatures are sticking around. And even if we're going to drop into those 60s, we're still going to be a few degrees above it, and we will start to see those rain chances pushing back into our forecast on Sunday. But enjoy this beautiful Friday and the Saturday to come.
Thank you, Tracy. Now to some entertainment headlines. Sinners made news as the most nominated movie of all time at the Oscars, and music is a huge reason why. The man behind that music is Ludwig Göransson, the Oscar-winning composer that has worked on movies such as Turning Red and Creed. He also won Oscars for music he wrote for Black Panther and Oppenheimer. He told Anthony Mason what he thinks music and movies can be used for.
I think it can do so many things. Some cases, you're holding the hand of the audience, right? You're leading them through, you're guiding them through what's happening. Sometimes it can do the complete opposite. You know, you can trick someone that thinks like, oh, I think I know what's happening.
Sinners is nominated for 16 Oscars, including for Best Score, which it won the Golden Globe for earlier this year. Pokemon is celebrating its 30th anniversary. The global phenomenon began with 2 Game Boy titles released in Japan. Pocket Monsters Red and Green was shortened to Pokemon in Japanese, spawning what's now considered the world's highest grossing media franchise. The coveted characters appeared on a popular anime series, trading cards, and years later on a mobile app called Pokemon Go, creating a whole new generation of Pokemon fans. More than 75 billion Pokemon cards have been produced over the years and are traded in a highly lucrative market. Earlier this month, a single card was sold for over $16 million. The Actor Awards streams Sunday night on Netflix. That's the new name for what used to be called the Screen Actors Guild Awards. One battle after another has 7 nominations, and Sinners has 5. Another notable nominee is Ariana Grande. She's up for a trophy for her role in Wicked for Good. Adam Brody is in the running for the Netflix comedy Nobody Wants This. His co-star Kristen Bell isn't. However, she is hosting the Actor Awards. Now to a stunning reversal in a high-stakes media bidding war. Netflix says it is backing out of its efforts to acquire Warner Brothers Discovery. That paves the way for CBS's parent company, Paramount Skydance, to acquire it instead. Jolene Kent has the details.
Will you please tell me what is happening?
It was a surprising late twist in the story of Hollywood's latest media merger. After months of being the frontrunner, Netflix on Thursday ditched its $83 billion deal to buy Warner Brothers Discovery, paving the way for Paramount Skydance, the parent company of CBS News, to take over.
Right, and I think
when we spoke to Netflix co-CEO Ted Sarandos earlier this month, before the company bowed out, he was confident in the deal.
I believe that our deal is better than the Paramount Skydance deal. First of all, because we have it, we won the bid, and we bought the company.
On Thursday, Sarandos traveled to Washington, meeting with Trump's chief of staff and antitrust division's acting chief. Hours later, Netflix walked away from the deal, saying it was no longer financially attractive. Warner Brothers agreed to a nearly $83 billion deal with Netflix back in December, initially rejecting a bid from Paramount Skydance. But earlier this week, after multiple attempts, Paramount raised its offer to $31 a share, all cash, upping the bid's value to about $111 billion, a bid Warner's board called superior. Paramount Skydance CEO David Ellison said the offer delivers superior value, certainty, and speed to closing. A Paramount acquisition will likely reshape the media landscape. allowing Paramount Skydance to potentially pick up assets like HBO Max and CNN on top of iconic film franchises.
Come out and play! David Ellison has promised 25 to 30 movies a year, so if that comes to fruition, you may see some more films at the box office.
Don't question it, just roll with it.
But there's also uncertainty about how this acquisition between two legacy studios will impact Hollywood.
People in Hollywood are very scared about this deal in general. No matter how you cut it, there's going to be a lot of layoffs coming.
Jolene Kent.
Well, I love being here with everyone, but I'm ready to go and get outside.
It is so nice out. I went in between shows and went and grabbed some lunch and came back, and I just wanted to sit out there with my windows down. It's
outside.
A beautiful day. Looking for our highs in the lower to mid 70s, and your Saturday looking really great as well. We're going to see some temperatures that are going to get really close to 80, but rain coming next week, but it is much needed. A little cooler temperatures, but we'll be on the rise again.
Yeah, there's so many things that are going on this weekend, from the Little Rock Marathon to horse racing in Oakland, just a lot of great events so you can get outdoors.
Get out and about and just have a good time. Just get out in the yard.
Yeah,
it's a good time for that
too. Walk outside and stand there.
Exactly.
Just make sure you enjoy it. Yeah, all right. And we do need that rain that's headed our way too.
We do. We'll know more about the heavier rain probably early next week. It's going to come closer to like Thursday to Friday.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you for joining us on Arkansas News Now. Have a great weekend.